Move on now to the Howler program. The name for this comes from the Harry Potter series, where a parent can send a really nasty letter to their child at Hogwarts, and it arrives by owl, and then it opens itself up and then screams the message at the child, and then bursts into flames. So we're going to approximate that here in this program by writing a program that will uppercase all the input that's given to it. And here in the GitHub repository, you can see that there are two solutions that I provided. And so we could just run those to see how it goes. It wants some sort of a string, some sort of a message input. So for instance, if we're going to give it, "How dare you steal that car?" If we run that, it's going to respond, "How dare you steal that car?" Remember that on the command line here, we have to put this in quotes, because otherwise it would be the individual words, "How dare you steal." We want this to be one string that is going to be given to the program. This program is going to work a little bit differently in that if the input for this is given as a file, it's going to actually read that file as the inputs, and it's going to read the contents of that file for the input. So for instance, if I ls in this directory, that is the command for listing, it will show me the files that are in this directory. If I ls ... that is the parent directory, so that shows me all the other directories that are in this repository. In the parent directory from where I am right now, there's an inputs directory. And so we're going to be using these files quite a bit in many of the exercises. If I want, from this directory, want to look at what's in that directory, I can say ls ... for the parent directory /inputs. And I see that there are many text files in here. And so the reason that they're here is so that we can use them as inputs to our program, and so that I can refer to them. So if I talk about the Fox program, the Fox file, it's the one that's in inputs, and it's called fox.txt. And here I can use the cat program to concatenate, to show me the contents of that. It'll just spit out the contents of that file, which I can see is "the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog," which is a typical sentence that you type, you practice typing, because I believe it uses every single letter of the English alphabet. So we want to send that as the input to our Howler program. So here I've got a version called solution 1. I can give it that inputs fox.txt, and it's not going to print inputs fox.txt in uppercase. It's going to print the contents of that file. "The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog." So how do we write that? That's what we're going to be writing in this program. So there's an additional way that this program is going to work, is that normally we're printing the output, and it's coming out on something that we call standard out. The standard place that output appears is just like in the terminal. It's just showing here right in front of us. But we're going to have another option to our program that is going to allow us to write the output into a file. So I can run this, and I can say --out, and I can say out.txt. And now I see nothing when I run this. I see nothing on standard out, because the output has gone now into this file. And now if I do an ls, I see here's this file. And if I cap that file, I see that is the output for this program. So to recap, what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to accept the text from the command line or from a file. We're going to learn how to change strings to uppercase. And then we're going to figure out how to print either to standard out, to the command line, or to a file, and that file will need to be created. And the other thing that we're going to learn along the way is how we can take plain text, literal text inside our programs, or we can read text and make it behave like a file handle. And that's going to become important for learning how to test our program. So that's what we're going to be doing in this exercise.